Hey guys, I'm here to share a little bit about my journey to law school and my journey to Vanderbilt. So hopefully if you are in a similar position, this can be helpful to you. So for a really long time, I've been interested in social justice issues and advocacy. I've also been very interested in the arts, in particular in reading and writing. I wasn't quite sure how to channel those interests into a career. So when I was in middle school, I thought that I wanted to be an architect for a while until I figured out that being an architect involves a lot of math, which is not my strong suit. So I went back to the drawing board, and then by the time I got to high school, I was thinking maybe I could pursue my interest through a career in writing by being an author. And I learned pretty quickly, thanks to some parental tough love, that it would be pretty difficult to make a living as an author. I know a lot of people don't make it, and I don't know if I was good enough at writing to make it. So at this point, I was a little bit older and giving my career some more serious thought, and I started shadowing my dad at work. I'm from Arkansas originally, and my dad is a judge back in Arkansas, so I would go to work with him, go to court with him, and I really enjoyed getting to see him help his community members through his work. And I also really enjoyed getting to see him learn different things every day and learn new things every day. Even though he's been in his career for a while, he was still learning new things, meeting new people, and I thought that was really inspiring. So knowing that I wanted to prioritize these interests in advocacy and the arts, and also having this new perspective after seeing my dad working, I was seriously considering schools, first of all, that had strong suits in those areas, but also pretty much thinking that I was going to go to law school at this point. So I ended up choosing Sewanee for undergrad, which is a smaller liberal arts school here in Tennessee. And at Sewanee, I double majored in English and politics. Having the politics major, I figured that law school would be the next best step. And I also didn't want to totally give up on writing, which is why I added the English major. And I mentioned that I had a pretty good idea that I wanted to go to law school at this point. Pretty much stuck to that path while I was at Sewanee, and once COVID hit, I started studying for the LSAT while we were all at home baking sourdough and making TikToks. And I started applying for law school not too long after that, around 2021. So overall for me, the application process was really, it was a little stressful, but it was also really exciting because it felt like this plan that I had had for almost 4 years at this point was finally coming to fruition. And I mentioned that it was a little bit stressful, but I think it was more exciting because my community of peers that were around me at Sewanee were really supportive and really helpful throughout the entire process. And on that note, a little bit related, but I'll speak more to the considerations that led me to choose Vanderbilt in my decision-making process when it came to law schools in a different video on a different day. But in a nutshell, at Sewanee, I really liked having really close one-on-one access to professors, and also a feeling of community. I knew the people who I was learning around and they knew me. And that's because it was a smaller learning environment. So one of Vanderbilt's strong suits is that it has a really tight-knit community, which really drew me to choosing it. And being here now, I can honestly say that I feel the same support and excitement that my undergrad peers showed me when I was accomplishing something like getting into a law school or finishing the LSAT. I think in this context, a good equivalent for that is the job search process. I felt really supported by my community of peers here at Vanderbilt while I was going through that really stressful process. So very satisfied with my decision overall. And backing up a little bit, by the time I graduated in 2022 from undergrad, I left Sewanee with my 2 degrees and my hopes to be a lawyer, and I traveled a couple hours northwest to Nashville to start my journey here at Vanderbilt. And one quick note before I sign off, there will be a few more videos on our page about whether you have to have a particular background or a specialty background to go to law school, because we get that question a lot from prospective students. On that note, I want to say from personal experience, I thought that my English major would be a really big help with the transition from undergrad to law school, particularly because that major just requires a bunch of reading and writing essays for 4 years. And I found that my degrees, while being at law school, have helped me a little bit, but not nearly as much as I thought they would, because I think this sort of reading and writing that we do here in law school is just very distinctive, like a lot of other aspects of law school. So I say that not to scare anyone who's majoring in English and thinking of going to law school, or anyone who's on a similar path as me. I'm honestly really pleased with my decision to study those 2 things in undergrad, and I feel like little bits and pieces of what I learned, I guess 3 years ago now, are still coming back and influencing the way that I interpret legal concepts. But I make that disclaimer just to let you know that everyone's path to law school is different. You don't have to have the same journey as anyone else. You don't have to have a particular background or any specialty to go to law school and to do well here. So that is my journey. I hope it was helpful for anyone who is in a similar position as me. If you have questions or comments, please leave a comment or DM me on our Instagram page, and I will be here as a resource to you and to help you throughout the year. Bye.